Support for This Is an Experiment is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. And Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the exclusive offer for you. That is 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code EXPERIMENT at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, that's about 8 million balls.
The experience is the experiment.
Today's guest hails from Florida, but has since found his home in Los Angeles, California. He's a musician, he's an artist, he's a songwriter, and a damn good skateboarder. Please welcome today's guest, Anthony Ortiz.
Oh, dude, you're flattering me.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me, man. Beautiful, beautiful place. I love
appreciate you.
Yeah.
It was this us meeting, and we were just talking about it a minute ago through I Cry at Work, Miss Amelia Moore.
Yes.
And she just walked up and introduced us. Wouldn't let us speak first. She introduced us from her behalf.
Yeah.
And it was the fucking greatest introduction, and now we're here.
Yeah, here you are. I love shaking everyone's hand, and yeah, no, she's an amazing artist, amazing person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love her.
So, who are you? Besides a Florida man.
Yeah, besides being born a wild Florida man, I am just somebody who finds love in art and trying to paint the visions that I have in my brain, because I think 100 miles an hour all the time, and it's like, I don't know. That's an interesting question, you know? I feel like I have like 100 answers for that.
I feel like that means that you're doing things right, though. If you have 100 answers, that means that you're exploring the world.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I definitely am a very curious person when it comes to what is there for me, you know?
I love it.
Yeah.
So you started as a skateboarder?
Yes. Yeah, I skated my whole life, and my parents and my family skateboard, and
No way.
yeah.
That's fucking amazing. Wait,
Yeah.
so your parents were skating before you were skating?
Oh, yeah. Well, my parents had me at a very young age, so when I was born, they were still they had me at like 16.
Wow.
So then when I was born, they were like still, skateboarding.
Absolutely.
And then naturally just flew over to me, and then my dad was pushing me on a board like before I could walk, and
How fucking cool.
yeah, and I fell in love with it. Yeah.
Man. So you found skateboarding, and then you were getting hurt too much.
Yeah. So I definitely I'm a sender. I do send.
Yeah.
I send it, and I love thrill, and I love. I just don't think twice about anything. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I find myself in really good situations, sometimes really bad. But I was hurting myself a lot, and my dad was like, "You got to chill out." Yeah.
Being somebody who's willing to send it like that, how does that transfer over to your music career?
So pretty much, my dad took my board away, trying to help me. And it was like in the midst of like you gotta go to like focus on this and go to college and and prepare for like other stuff, because it was consuming everything, like my whole day, because I just loved it so much.
Absolutely.
And didn't want to do anything else. So he took my board away, and that same day I was like on YouTube, and I saw this dude busking like with this guitar case open in like England, and I still have the video. I don't know the dude's name, but. And I was like, oh, I could do that. Like, I could learn how to, I don't care. I just need $60. I just need to buy a new board. Because my dad threw my board away. God, I was so mad. But then freaking, I, got this, busted guitar. I've never, really, played or sang in my life ever. And I just went under this bridge in Tampa called the Tampa River Walk. And I just started singing under this bridge. And I started going every day, and I just fell in love with the way that I felt when people were listening to me.
Do you think there's a connection between people watching you skateboard and getting to show off, as far as showing the hard work that you put into land tricks, and then also in music, you're sitting there and you're doing something where people are watching you and you have the ability to fuck up?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I like when people see my failures, because it everyone's I don't know. There's some sort of lesson to be learned in that. Everyone has this, these could polish up in certain areas, but definitely there's a connection. I think what it is just like I like things that can keep up with how fast my brain works,
Mm.
you know, and like when I skate fast, and like that's how my brain is just like that. I have like I don't know, and when I'm making music, I'm in my own world, and it's like it speeds up to my wavelength,
Yeah.
kind of.
When you were talking about how when you were younger, it was consuming your days.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
feel like there's traits in that that'll transfer over to all different things in life. And I'm sure you can find those in a lot of artistic people in general. Because I think skateboarding's an art. I mean,
Oh, it definitely is. Yeah,
it's something that takes 10,000 hours, then you put another 30 in.
yeah,
You know, it's
yeah.
like
Exactly.
it's so meticulous, and you have to be able to get up and keep going, and the lessons that come in that, and the type of person that is able to do that.
Oh yeah.
This industry is built for you then, because this is the kind of industry where you're gonna fall a fuck ton, and
Yeah.
you got to get up and you got to brush it off. You got to try the trick again.
Dude, I'm pretty tall, dude. Falling hurts, dude. I'm pretty far away from the ground, bro. When I fall off my skateboard, it's like it makes sense why I hurt myself so much.
Absolutely.
But no, 100%. And like I'm still like the reason I think that I love it so much is because it's new every day.
Mm.
Like you can't really like ever master it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can master maybe a formula that works for you, but you're just constantly like. And the way that I make music too is it's more of like more of a journaling, or like for me. So I make like a song every day based off how I felt that day,
I love
and
that.
then I just come across something that I feel like is something I feel like I need to share. You know?
It's almost like a self-induced accountability,
Yeah, yeah,
where you're allowing all of these different practices to fail, and then look at it and then redo it with more intention behind it, and different
yes,
intention, different lessons behind it. And that's skateboarding, that's music, that's podcasting, that's any of these things. Your buddy's here who does streaming and is a gamer, and
yeah,
same sort of thing. Like, you do a stream, your fucking camera turns off halfway through. Okay, now I know that is something that's possible. Now I have to change things in order to make that better. And you keep making these small changes, and eventually you end up with a product or with a skill that you can share, that you can show other people. But it takes these small little incremental changes to make something like that happen. I feel like
oh yeah,
that's a type of person.
it is. It definitely is, and I think like I there was definitely something like with skateboarding. I think with the drive that like something that if I wanted to like learn a certain thing or like come over a fear of something that I wanted to do, there was, and also a mixture of just like growing up, I like poured concrete, and like when I was like I was like a labor worker as like from like a really really young age, like throwing hay and like stuff like that. So I think like a mixture of all this like hard work too, like just adds to the big pot where I can apply it to whatever I'm doing, whether it's music or anything. Like, yeah.
It helps you endure any struggle, and it also helps you take in any success.
Yeah, absolutely. But I also know that there's a lot more to go, and it honestly is just I'm excited for it, you know.
So what are you excited for that's happening soon? What's on the horizon for Anthony Ortiz, aka Boy Blue?
Yes. So I have a single that's coming out soon. Not gonna say the date just yet, but it's I'm super excited. The song represents everything about me, I feel like. I'm really tapping into these projects that I've been working on are kind of like things that I've always wanted to say, but I never said them out loud.
Yeah.
Or maybe like things I was afraid to say, and I'm just like, okay, here is just what's going on. Take it or leave it, and really honest stuff. And I'm just super excited to see what's going on. And like, yeah, I don't know. I love music, and
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited to hear it. Hopefully,
oh yes.
once we turn these cameras off.
Oh,
can
I
get a
got it.
sneak
Yeah,
peek.
yeah. I know you heard a couple of things. You heard a few, but
Dude,
I got a couple of really just things I'm very proud of.
I love
And
that.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in the next couple years as a creative? Do you see yourself doing a lot more writing and producing for other people as well, and playing instruments? Do you see yourself heading more towards just the artist side, or a nice combination of the two?
Oh, everything. I love to be involved in
Yeah.
like whatever it is, like, and just play a part that, like, if I have something that I can bring to a space that I feel like I can enhance at all.
Hmm.
Or like I want to make movies. I want to, like, you know what I mean? I want to write a movie. I want to be in a movie. I want to I just want to do everything, like anything
creative.
that's in that realm. Yeah.
Is there something about this industry or making music that is tough that you like the most?
Yeah. I think what I like that's tough is sometimes in the moment I can, like, if I'm having like a writer block, or like I can't think of exactly how I want to say something, and I get super like in my head about it at the moment, and then when I wake up the next morning I realize that I was just being stupid, and like I'm like, why was I so stressed out about this? Like,
Yeah.
that relief of like, yeah, like you shouldn't be overthinking something that is
And everything doesn't have to be a success.
exactly.
I feel like if you have too many successes, first of all, you forget what it's like to have the other side. Therefore, it feels more detrimental when something doesn't work. When in this industry, most things don't work, and that's how it
Yeah.
should be, because the trial and error, the trials and tribulations that lead up, that take all these small steps to lead up to a larger, more put together picture.
Yeah.
That's what makes an artist.
Yes, it is. And it's more of like I have a chart with like very small goals on them, and I like look back from like 2 weeks ago or something, and it's like all these things are checked off now, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, or just even what I'm like, even the fact that I'm just here having this conversation
Hmm.
with you, that is like, and is an important conversation to me. That's a success to me,
I love
like
that.
just like very much. I don't put like like obviously I have goals,
Yeah.
but
Well, the
I'm
fact
not
that you said
focused.
2 weeks
Yeah,
goals,
yeah,
2 week says 100% everything, because what that means is that you're not worried about what happens in a year. You'd rather take all the steps that take to get to this big picture,
yeah,
and you're aware of these small steps, because the small steps make up the bigger picture for every fucking time.
yeah, exactly.
And that's
Yeah,
that's a type of person that doesn't need to look too far ahead, because they want to be where they're at and improve the structure of their life that they're currently in.
oh, absolutely. And I'm a firm believer that I will end up exactly where I'm supposed to be. So
Absolutely.
if I look too far ahead, then I'm kind of boxing myself in where things can change.
Yeah.
And like maybe that change is something that I would want.
Mhm.
Because if I'm like, oh, I need this to be where I'm going to be, then it's like I'm not allowing myself to navigate through certain things I should, like the side quests, or
Yeah.
like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's not the point. The point of why I'm doing all of this is because I'm excited that I don't know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
you know?
I guess the unknown also leaves more room for new creation.
Yeah, exactly.
If-
And I trust like the skills that I have as far as, you know, how hard I work.
Yeah.
Like I know that like no matter what, I'm gonna make sure that I'm doing something that I love, and I'm gonna get to wherever I'm supposed to be no matter what,
Well, and that's the
Yeah.
mentality that allows you to keep your head down when you need to work, and keep your head up when it's time to communicate with the world.
Yeah.
And I think so many people come out here and their job, they say, okay, I'm moving to LA. I'm going to be a musician. I'm going to keep my head down and work nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
Those people don't have life experiences anymore. They use them all
No.
up in their first bit of songs.
Yeah.
And if your head's down all the time, then you're missing all the beautiful people walking by, and all the amazing creative opportunities and
Yes.
business opportunities, and all the things that make up the artist, that make up
Exactly.
the art.
Exactly. And like, don't get me wrong, too. Like, I also have the mentality of like, I'm gonna be the biggest artist in the world.
As you need to.
Yeah. Like that is like, I tell myself that every single day. Like I'm going to be. I tell everybody I know every single day, watch, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
But like, I wouldn't necessarily say that that's like, like it's a goal, yeah, but it's not like my 2 week goals are more important to me than
Mm.
that's more of just like,
There's
manifestation.
We were just talking about a mutual friend, Felly, who was on a few weeks ago. One of the things that he said that I've brought up a lot, and it really fucking sticks with me, is he said, where I want to be and how big I want to be is not where most people are going to end up on where most people want to be. I want to do something that is so fucking tough that I have to do life a little bit differently to get there. I have to think differently. I have to be meticulous. I have to plan. I have to be the best version of whatever I can be in that moment, so that the next time I grow, I'm growing from a point that starts at 50%, doesn't start at 5%.
Yes, that's very true. I'm glad that you shared that. That's like very, I believe that 100%.
It changed my outlook on so much of this, because it makes you realize, like, do I want to be the best podcaster possible? Of course. But for me to be there isn't me just saying I'm going to be the best. It's how do I be the best? It's how do I talk to people better? How do I get better at listening? How do I get better at giving people a platform for them to feel the most authentic and comfortable? Like, those are the steps to be the biggest. You can't just look at the outer goal. You have to look at the whole picture.
Absolutely. And that's one of my biggest things that, and I'm getting better at it too. But I've always like just been a big listener, and like every conversation I have, I'm gaining some sort of wisdom from everybody, and like whether it's like learning a lesson of something I shouldn't do, or like being very observant, and I'm definitely somebody that applies that stuff to myself, and I think trying new things too, is a big part, and just me as a person. I like trying new things, and I like knowing what doesn't work and what works, because I'm not afraid to do it. And I don't know. I'm just excited at all times about for the unknown,
Dude, this goes back to your world of skating too.
Yeah.
That was such a important time in my life when I wasn't very good, but I skateboarded, and it was everything to me for a very long time. And you have to be fucking relentless. Yeah. If there's any give up in your body, if there's a plan B, then you're not going to land that fucking trick. Oh yeah. I don't care how hard you try. You have to know that I'm going to do it one way or fucking other. And
what it is commitment and following through. Like when you're doing it, like when I'm skating, I have to imagine myself already landing it before I'm doing the trick. Yeah. It's kind of like the same thing that I'm doing now with music. I'm like, I imagine myself where I'm going to be, and I'm going to get there.
You have to believe in the fact that you're able to do it.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. There is a difference between confidence and cockiness.
Absolutely.
But I believe in myself internally and externally. Yeah. And but yeah, I think my confidence goes up in my abilities. Mm-hmm. But I also love collaboration, and I love to boost other people's confidence, and I love to just enhance and excel with my people,
So community, I feel like, is the number one key to success out here, and especially in Los Angeles. Yeah, dude. If you can find people who want to root you on, and you're willing to root them on, and there's never a feeling of competition. Because for the first time ever, we're living in a fucking industry where you can go spend your whole day finding 100 people every single day who are getting fucking 10 million monthly listeners that you've never heard of and you'll probably never hear of again.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I love it though.
Oh, it's amazing.
I love it
for everybody.
Because that, and sometimes those random things you come across, it's something that you had to hear. Mm-hmm. There's certain songs that I'll just come across, and I'm like, I don't know who this person is, but I'm so glad. Yep. Certain people speak to you in a different way. If I hear definitely something that I love is when I hear a song, or if an artist drops an album, and then my friends listening to it, and then I listen to it, and then we both talk about it. We both heard it in a different way, and I love that aspect too. So. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's just a lot of messages that are very important to hear, whether it's from somebody you know or you don't know. I don't think it matters. It's just a dope song is a dope song.
I think that shows the kind of person you are as well, because you're going out into the world looking for expression that you can bring into your life, not looking for people that you are up against. Yes. And that is 100 that is everything. That is the thing I've learned, and we were talking about Pink earlier. He's the best example of it. That man. Oh yeah. Any signal that he believes in, he's willing to boost.
He's just a guru, bro.
Dude, he's incredible.
He's got the sauce. he's got the style, bro. He's
Yeah.
he's in his bag, and I love to see it.
And he, at the end of the day, you can never hear his music and understand what kind of person he is just by meeting him.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, not at all. But
That's
he's
everything.
but it's like what's going on in his head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like, what it is, like people just have different levels of being able to figure out how to paint their vision.
Yeah.
And make it come to real life, whether it's music or a movie or writing a book or something, you know.
I think it's anything that you're in love with.
Yeah.
If you're in love with something, then you have to change the way that you look at the world, because
yeah.
that's the only way that you're going to find more to write about. That's the only way that you're going to find more expression, more emotion, all these things that culminate into a beautiful piece of art.
Yes, absolutely. And that's comes back to just the goal of just perfecting your craft and getting better at what you're doing. And honestly, I do everything for myself, for my own pure enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I was at one point, like, you know, I'm still learning, but like when I was very fresh and like still like wandering around like in this, how do I do this music, or how do I just make a song or whatever? Like my mindset was immediately, okay, I'm having a studio session, like I need to go in there and make a hit song. And like the moment I dropped that out of my brain, I started making music that I like, and then like people started liking it because they saw how much I liked what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then I don't know.
You start realizing there's no correlation between the world liking something and you being proud of something.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
You don't have, if you focus on the world being proud of something, you're not going to be proud of what you're doing because you're focusing on outside perspective.
Yeah,
When you start making something from your perspective, then you show the world what they love.
exactly.
You know, that's your job. It's not to do what they've already done. It's to do what people need.
Yeah, exactly.
What's
And
next?
just saying it in your own way, like, or saying it, just repeating things because somebody might have not heard the other person say it, or
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm excited, and I'm in love with this conversation, and like I think like even just talking about this is making us more aware of how to be better at what we're doing, and
Absolutely.
like yeah, I don't know, I love it. Yeah.
When you were getting into the industry and pre-writing camps, pre-writing for other people, pre-music out yourself, what was the hardest part of the entrance? What was the hardest part about going from regular growing up human being to professional art creator, you know?
I wouldn't even say I'm still in that entrance. And I feel like a professional art creator, like I feel like anybody who just does the effort to create the art, like you're just already professional in your own way. Like, you know, there's no like employee of the month kind of thing for it at all. You know, it's just more of like it comes down to like who really enjoys this as much as the more art you put out shows like how much you maybe enjoy it, I guess.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that, but you know what I mean? But
I
like,
definitely think that correlates for a lot of people. I don't think that's everybody personally, but I think that correlation for a lot of people is like, I can't stop.
Yeah,
I need
exactly.
this.
I can't stop. And it's like, okay, then you're professional in your own way. But definitely, so I would say like the transition though was I stopped comparing myself to other people, which really helped. And I started being my own person. And just being a good person, and or being just loving everybody and shaking a lot of hands and coming with good faith and energy, like really just opened up a lot of opportunities that I could share and experience. Like, okay, I want to make art with everyone. I don't want to, you know, eat like just because you have this under your belts or whatever. It's like, okay, cool. I know that we could work well with each other, but also everyone has something good to say. Everyone has something to say. So it's like, I want to hear what everyone has to say.
It's also like, just because somebody works 100% different and makes something 100% different, that to me, that's more of a reason to work with somebody, because now you have completely different perspective coming into what you do. And you know, you form this toolbox over the years. You take what you need, you leave what you don't, you let everything pass through your brain, and you let that filter it out. You don't have to block something out before it hits your head. Like,
oh yeah,
all these different pieces that eventually, when you go into a session, you don't need to go in saying, I need to make a hit today. You go in saying, I'm gonna use my toolbox, and I'm gonna use every tool to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
And that toolbox toolbox is growing every fucking time I go out. Every time I meet somebody, every time I give a hug, every time somebody says they hate what I'm doing or they love what I'm doing.
Exactly.
That all goes in there.
And that is that, and also like learning how to take criticism in a good way.
Absolutely.
And I've never been the type of person, even before music, like I'm a learner and I listen, so I think that really helped.
Yeah.
Like to help me perfect my craft and like really just figure out how to put words together so that you could really understand what my brain is trying to say.
Yeah.
Because my brain thinks a lot faster than I speak. So yeah, like just that, exactly like you said, like the toolbox and everything. So I think for the entrance of like what was the big change from me a couple years ago to what I'm doing now was just listening and learning and loving what I'm doing so much that like I like when I fail because I learn from that experience.
Fuck
So yeah, I think the failure is really just like all those things. I failed a lot. I fail all the time. Failed yesterday. Failed today. You know what I mean?
That means you're trying new things.
Yeah.
That means you're stepping outside of your comfort zone and you're looking at the world from perspectives that maybe you haven't looked at it from before.
Oh yes,
That's the only way to have growth.
And I'm definitely like I would say I'm a professional overthinker. That's something I'm professional at.
Fuck yeah.
I'm a professional overthinker, and I always try to remind myself like there's a right way to do wrong things, and like just like reassure myself that what I'm doing is everything I'm doing is putting me on the right path. There's nothing that's taking me off of the path because I'm very persistent. I don't know.
There's a right way to do wrong things.
Yeah, there's a right
I
way.
fucking love that. That's my next tattoo.
There's a right way to do wrong things because there's no correct way to do this. Everyone finds their light in their art in a different way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and like that's kind of like all of the wrong things you're doing are helping you figure out your very specific, very true to yourself way that you accomplish what you're trying to do.
You're building a fucking puzzle that doesn't have edges to
Yeah,
match
dude.
together.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's
you
like
just have
all
to
of
fit
that.
them together, and hopefully it works. And if it doesn't, you take that piece out, you fucking cut it up into a nuke shape, and you try to fit it in again.
Yeah. And that's what I always like. Yeah, I just reassure myself that like what I'm doing is not wrong, even if it feels wrong. And I think I heard that in like a Joe Dirt movie or something. Like
Wise man once said.
Yeah, life's a garden, man. Just dig it, bro.
So clearly, you're also expression and external expression is important to you too. The two times I've met you now and the first time, instantly I was like, this kid's fucking outfits are ridiculous.
Oh, bro.
They're perfection. And you're also...
Bro, I'm looking like Easter right now. I can't lie.
Dude, hey, that's not a bad time to look at. And then you also got tattoos all over. And so clearly expression is big for you as well.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, my parents were very much that way. So I think it rubbed off on me a little bit.
Absolutely.
And like, you know, when they had me, like, it's something weird to think about is my dad. Like, I'm at an age I remember my dad being. And I've been an age that I remember my dad being since the age of like freaking 17. So it's like watching them, like I watched my parents like kind of grow up and they were like big punk rockers. So like my dad had like mohawk, Liberty spikes, like leather jackets, septum piercing tattoos. My mom was the same way. Like they were just like punk rock skater parents. So like
So
watching
sick.
them be able to like, you know, express themselves.
Yeah.
Whether it was fashion or my dad, like, you know, my dad wrote music when he was a kid and I have this journal and like he just has like things. He like never did music or ever like didn't. He just
How
wrote.
cool, though.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, okay, there's outlets that, and I like the fact that like we share that in common.
The
You know,
barrier to entrance was for expression was set low where you could step right over it and
Yeah.
without too much friction. And I think we're heading towards a time where that is becoming more and more available for kids. And when I have kids, you better fucking believe they're gonna see a dad with the craziest dress shit and tattoos.
Yeah.
And I've already begun, but I didn't grow up like that. My parents weren't conservative by any means. They met at, or their first kiss was at like a Grateful Dead show.
Oh,
Like
what?
they're
That's
badass.
crazy.
But they don't express themselves physically like that.
Yeah.
So for me, I was the first in my family to be getting more than one tattoo, and without it being a small Jewish star somewhere, something like I went for it, and I got what I don't have enough yet. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But that was tough for me to step over because there felt like there could be disappointment and all this stuff. And it shows how valuable a parent or parents being open to their child expressing themselves and how valuable that is, because clearly it's, everybody's got their own version of fucked up for whatever experiences they've had, but it culminated into a person that is comfortable in their own skin and is now available to share that with other people. And
Oh yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And like tattoos and every like, and I get some like I go like the way that I do with my clothes or my tattoos, they change. And like I might have like a different way that I dress next year.
Yeah.
That I'm like, okay, this is kind of how I'm feeling. Or like right now I'm boy blue, but next year I might be Hollywood cowboy. You know what I mean? I don't know. So it's like I'm just going through how I feel, and I very much am good at like I'm always a person to tell you like how I feel. Like if I have like if there's somebody I have like a beef with anyway, like not a beef, but like, or if we're like just like connecting on something, I'll like, hey, like I'm gonna tell you how I think, and you should tell me how you think. And I've always been that way, and I think I'm very self-expressive in every single type of way, and I'm very just honest with myself, and that's why like I don't really care about what I'm wearing and my tattoos are just like some people disagree with them and some people love them,
And it's fine.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. Nothing is for everyone.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is what people forget. And that's the job as an artist, is to show is I'm willing to self-express so other people can see that it's okay to do that as well.
Exactly. So that's what I was exactly the perfect way to put it. Because I love when like somebody will say like, oh, I gotta be more myself, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like, because I that's what happened to me. Like my parents did that for me. And I love just, I don't know, playing my little piece in this world, whatever that is. But
I think you got to think of self-expression like a song. If every song sounded the same, people would get bored. Why would it not be okay then to change everything all the time as you feel? I don't think anybody needs to change anything because life needs them to. I think you need to because you need to.
Exactly.
Because I know how I feel when I wake up in the morning and I can look in the mirror and feel like I'm wearing something that expresses who I am. It makes me 50 times more comfortable in my own skin. And that allows me to then help other people hopefully feel comfortable in theirs.
Yes.
That is part of my job.
That's
being me.
That's an amazing thing. Like I love that you just said that.
And you're clearly the same way. And
oh yeah. And like even other people help me figure out things like that I like. And like I love like just meeting different people from different places and who have different experiences, because then I'm like, it's just all adding to this mixture. And even listening to music that how I feel in the moment.
Yeah.
Like tonight, me and Eric probably gonna listen to Shots by like Lil Jon, that's how we're gonna feel. Like that's just how we're gonna self-express ourselves tonight, I guess. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, but in the morning we might listen to some, and like also listening to like a lot of my friends. Yeah. Like I feel like I get a lot of my best information that I can apply to myself from music that my closest friends are making.
Absolutely.
Especially because I understand them
and you support
know them. Yes.
Like that's everything. The fact that you're saying that shows that you want to boost the signal of everybody that you love, and you also seem like the type of person who wants to find more people to love so you can boost their signal too.
Dude, yeah.
And that's
we're all in this together.
Before we wrap this up, I wanted to bring up one other thing, which is we were kind of talked about it a bit, and you brought your buddy here.
Yeah.
And there's something about when people bring somebody in with them. First of all, you're talking on camera in a microphone that is vulnerable as is.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people don't want to bring somebody. What that means is the person sitting over there is somebody you trust.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody who knows you pre anything.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, if I can give advice to everybody out there, is just because you're changing doesn't mean that you need to change the people who you love. And if you can find somebody who can be there from day one and see you at your best and worst moments when success finds you, that's somebody who's going to keep you in check. That's somebody who's going to love you the same at all times. And that's somebody who's going to help boost the signal of who you are as a real person.
Yeah.
And that's so big to me. And he's a fucking great dude.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing is like, and it's really easy to kind of forget why you started or where you came from. And I think, like I said, a lot of my friends they always have these stories of like, oh, we met each other in second grade, or like I've never known anyone that long, so it's like he's pretty much the longest friend I've ever had, and it's very like it keeps me in my roots, and like I knew him before I even ever did music ever, so it's like it very much helps me be clear, and it just reminds me why I did it in the first place, and that's the biggest thing that I feel like. That's one of the most important things I feel like everybody should keep checking themselves for. Like whatever it is that you're doing, like reminding yourself why you started, because sometimes your brain can get fogged up, or like you can get too hyper focused on something, or even if you're like if it's an insecurity or something, or I don't know, like
not even it will.
Yeah,
it'll happen, and it happens to everybody. And if you say it doesn't, you're fucking
lying, bro. You're
That's
lying.
Part of life.
You're lying. Like. I love when someone's checking me on something like, yo, this gotta stop this. You gotta do this. I'm like, yo, dude, you're right. What am I doing?
You gotta find your lighthouses. You gotta find you gotta have your stable pieces of life where when you're fucking in the middle of the ocean and you don't see anything around you, that you can look out, find that point of reference, and start heading back to clear up. And that's what close friends are. That's what family is. That's what the space around you that you build, and the people, and you're doing it. You're doing life.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautifully.
Dude, we all are. Like that's the beautiful thing of like I always, like I don't know. Whatever we're doing, we're gonna end up where we're supposed to be, and I'm just excited for whatever that is. And I know I'm gonna be making music on the way there. And
that's how we're gonna fucking end this, man. That is so perfectly said, and I hope anybody listening can find solace in that too, because I do, and clearly you do as well.
Oh yeah.
Boy Blue, Mr. Anthony Ortiz, you
Appreciate you, man.
A special motherfucker, and I'm looking forward to hearing even more music once these cameras shut off. And you guys better be fucking excited, because this stuff is phenomenal, and I'm really excited to see somebody who makes great music and lives life the way that life should be lived.
Dude, thanks, man, bro. Mama raised you right, man. Mama raised you right.
They did a good job. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Likewise.
Thanks, man.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah. I'm excited to start this friendship off correctly, and hopefully there'll be many more of these.
Oh, 100%. And we're gonna jam.
We'll jam when we turn these cameras off.
Absolutely. Let's run it.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. I appreciate you. And to everybody out there,
I'm Anthony Ortiz, and this is an experiment.
Yeah, baby. Bye, everybody.
The experience is the experiment.